eSports Season 4 Australian Grand Prix for the F3 team. I'm Brett Keenan. Joining me in commentary is Matthew Elliott and pit lane reporter Guy Tasker, who's going to on and off join us in the commentary for pit lane reports, giving us a bit of strategy intel and whatnot. So here we are, boys, F1 2019. We've been pretty much under the radar a little bit in regards to a few things. We've restarted the Project Cars Supercar League. We've done sprint mode already on F1 2019, but here we are for the first official race of the new 2019 game season. So what do you guys make of it at the moment? The F3 at the moment, not very big grid today, but we've seen two names return, Jonathan Carton and Mark Bratby. So Matt, first of all, welcome to the broadcast, and who do you pick for pole position for today's Grand Prix?
Pole position, I want to see Jordan get it.
Yeah, I think Jordan's been very quick in this game. No, not going to lie, we do hang out with Jordan quite a lot, and we do see his pace, and he's been probably among the fastest of the people currently listed on the grid at the moment. But keep an eye out for Mark Bratby as well. We'll see what a sabbatical does in regards to his driving performance. And Guy, what are your thoughts?
Well, it's going to be interesting to see, as you say. I think we've seen a fair bit of Jordan, but a lot of the other drivers I haven't seen so much of their pace so far. So as far as predictions, I'll probably have to base it on last year, I guess. I think I'm going to go with Jaden for pole. I think he showed a bit good pace last year, so yeah, I'd back him here.
And a couple of different names you're going to see here. Polish Sniper F1, that's actually Big Mike 46385. He's now Michael Poland. He's now gone under a new guise of Polish Sniper. And WNWA Matty UTM, he's a new driver to the F3 course. He is known as Matty Smith, and he'll be driving for Williams. Currently on his own at the moment, but we are scouting some extra drivers to fill the F3 up, as it is now at the moment the least attentive category at the moment. We should probably expect to see Nicholas Adams at some point. We don't know whereabouts he is. He's about, but he's not here, but he should appear soon enough. Jordan, oh, careful. No, he's already gone.
That's done.
Out before he even gets a qualifying lap in. So there's your prediction out the window.
My bad.
Yeah, too quick, I think, going through turn 11 and 12, or 10 and 11, he's just gone too quickly in. Seems again that, and as I say that, Nicholas actually does come in. As previous game has noted, the crash function hasn't changed, so unfortunately we won't be able to see accidents unless, for that example, we witness them firsthand. So disappointing. Every driver now out on the circuit apart from the new driver of Matthew Smith. So we will follow the first driver to set a flying lap, who I think might have been actually Mark. So Mark's the first driver out. I'll just double check that. As I just swung onto Bojan just as that happened. So that's a Bottas incident there. So two drivers out of qualifying already before really they've even got it underway. So Mark Bratby and Jonathan Carton both line astern coming into turn 9. We've got a Sector 3 incident already as well. Although that might be just on the account of... We'll just keep an eye on Mark here as he comes through 10 and 11, the infamous. He's gone too.
He's done it.
Oh, but he's lucky enough to come out of that in one piece, so a far better fate than Jordan. So Jonathan will now carry this plate on. So Jonathan was away for a sabbatical. We never really talked about what happened to him, and because he's back, we won't really go into too much detail as to what happened. He's back now. He's trying again at F3. He did try to have F1 a go. It didn't really work out for him. What's he going to do as he crosses line? 24.5. That's not too bad actually for the first opening stanza.
Here comes Mike.
Can Mike capitalise on this? with some certain big names out of qualifying. Could he capitalise on this and get his first pole? Not quite. 24.8, so 5 tenths off. So could be interesting actually, with Jordan and Boyard now starting at the back, unless of course another set of drivers don't set a time. Here comes Jaden Felter, so he's the biggest threat, so he's Guy's tip. I never actually put a tip on mine actually, and I probably won't now because we're already in qualifying, so I won't.
No cheating.
Yeah, I won't cheat and put myself down as just picking a person, but I would agree in what Guy says, that Jaden should be on by pen and paper from last season, should be the guy to beat. The only championship contender of the F3 from last season not to move up a tier or two, in mine and Matt's case. So here he comes across the line, looking pretty reasonable. Could be a 23 here. 23.9, so more than half a second faster than the rest of the field. Yeah. See, one thing I've noticed about this game, as Jonathan crosses the line again, doesn't improve. One thing you wouldn't be wanting to do with this game is doing more than one run on a set of tyres. So, the tyre degradation on this game has been proven to be quite an interesting development. Now, not too recently, they did a patch on the game to eliminate the tyre rendering for like offline, but we don't really know if that translates to online. And so for people that don't quite understand what I'm talking about, you can do a qualifying run in career mode at Q2, do a lap, go out, do your outlet, do a quali lap, and then retire from the session. Now, normally what would happen is that your tyre should only simulate a little bit of a portion between where you stop and whether you come back into the pits. Now, let's say 18%, for example, is how much your tyres are at when you retire from the session, which for a one lap dash would be actually pretty bad, but it's just an example. So, and then all of a sudden you go into the race and your tyres are like 30 to 40% worn all of a sudden. And it was a real bother for a lot of people that couldn't, you had to go from a one stop to a two stop because you just couldn't take the tyres to the right number to do a one stop. So, hopefully that's not a problem for online, but at the same time, I would use that as the incentive to not exactly do more than one run on a set of tyres, and especially in certain circumstances, you don't want to be using more than one tyre anyway, or doing more than one lap on a tyre anyway. So, watching Matty Smith here on screen here on the Rocket Williams, the Williams is a weird car for me. I like its T-cam. Beautiful save there. Beautiful save. You don't want to be... you want to be spinning that around, Matty. You don't want to be going backwards for too much longer. But yeah, interesting. I like the T-cam, but I don't like the actual overall car. I just think the paint job is just poorly done, and...
Looks like Mark's had another moment.
As much, I think the sponsor ruins it. Oh.
Is he? Let's have a look.
Yeah, he's missing some end plate.
I think
he is.
Yeah, it's not the greatest baptism of fire for Mark, but of course, hold in regard that it is, and at this present point of time, 3 or 4 in the morning for him, so he's probably still half asleep, trying to get himself up.
That's commitment, that is.
Well, in his personal perspective, he felt that if he was up earlier, he would be more awake for F1 commentary. So it's a little bit of commitment, a little bit of... Now this is an interesting statement here. Why has Jonathan decided to come out on the medium tyre? And that's the other thing too that's changed in this game as well. And I mean, a lot of you are probably going, well, Brett, we already know this shit. But for people who are watching this that aren't, fully fixed on F1 as a real gig, the tyre compounds have changed over the course of the year back to the 3 simple red, white and yellow white walled tyres, but they still pretty much run under the same normal tyre compound as what you saw last year. So the red striped soft tyre being the ultra soft the medium tyre being the super soft and the hards being the soft. So it takes away the confusion of the multiple of compounds, but it still does kind of make you still think, oh, he's on the super soft, so he's on the softs, he's on the mediums, but even though it's soft, mediums and hard. So yeah, very interesting that Jonathan's on the mediums right now rather than trying to go for a lap on the soft. So in fact, what we'll do, guys, is that we'll put you on board Jonathan Carton's car and we'll get you to give us a virtual lap around the Australian Albert Park circuit.
Oh, it would be an honour. Well, it's nice and straight, so not much here, but braking around the 100-metre board there. Ooh, taking a bit too much of the inside curve there, and you can see the back end wanted to step out there, but lost a bit of time. But as he comes back down into turn 3, I find this one quite a tricky one myself. You've just got to spot your braking point. And you're into the car park section, so fairly slow right left there, and then you've got a flat out right hander there. Quite enjoy that corner myself. You can use a bit of curve on the outside there. And another quite fast right hander there, a bit conservative from Jonathan there, but then you're straight back on the power, and you're coming down into through the middle sector. Again, a tricky one to spot your braking point for here. You don't want to clip too much of that inside curve because they've got the big yellow sausage curve, and that can really chuck you around there. And flat out here into 11 and 12 here, so you've got the fast left right, and this turn in is the vital point here. You can't turn in too late or too early, or you're going to invalidate, or you're going to end up running wide, and as we've seen already, you're going to cost you if you run out wide and get too much of the curve. Through the final sector, you've got the double right-handers here, and here you can get on the power, use a lot of the outside curve. Down into the final 2 corners, pretty slow pace, and then you've got the long right-hander to finish with, so you've just got to be careful to step on the power. Quite good there from Jonathan, getting on the power nice and early. It's just a sprint to the line.
27.6.
Doesn't improve. So
yeah,
can't improve on those mediums, it seems.
Yeah, so
he was running on 0 ERS the whole lap too.
Oh yeah, okay. So maybe he was. I think I understand Jonathan's strategy now. He's using that lap there was just a heat soak, so he's trying to get some heat into the tyres, so then he can just crank it into quali mode and then go for it. So Matty Smith's done a time of 1 minute 38.6, but at the moment, despite everything, as Jaden now improves to a 23.6. Despite everything, as long as Mark doesn't beat him in time, a P4 is going to be a pretty good result for him, but he looks like he is going to go back out and try and make an improvement. And I think for both Jonathan and Mike, this will be a career best qualifying for the both of them. I think Jonathan's highest qualifying has been a 4th, and Mike's has been a 5th, so 1 position up for Jonathan, 2 positions up for the 2 of them. It's going to make an interesting development with the race compound. Jordan starting a little further back than he probably would think he is, but we know he's quick, but the question remains on his consistency. He's not been the most stablest of drivers. As he crosses line, no improvement again. That was a 25 though this time, so a much bigger lap. I wouldn't really. I mean, I can understand Jonathan's standpoint on this, but you can do a one-stop from mediums, softs to.
Sorry, Matty, you lost it coming through the.
Yeah, your favourite corner, presumably.
Right-hander, yeah. It was weird though. He didn't actually. The back end didn't step out at all. He just. There's a little kink in the road on the left-hand side after you've come around the corner, and Matty just kept going straight and didn't account for the little kink in the road and just went straight into the wall. Just
marked a P2.
Sent him round. So, so he is 24 flat. Good time, strong time.
He finally put it in when it counted, and he's now displaced his teammate by half a second. So that's a good time there by Mark, and he's looking definitely to improve himself now. Mark, hang on, we got a bit of a. I hope Mike's got out of the way, but again, if I was Mark, I wouldn't be. If I was Mark, I'd probably now put it away because he's used up all his tyres in the soft range, and we know that because he's had 3 cracks. This was his 3rd crack at the lap. What could Mike do here? I mean, he's got 3 tenths to make up to beat Jonathan, and he's got 8 tenths to beat Mark, but then he's got 1 point. So someone's gone off somewhere, maybe. Or maybe that. No, just seeing things. But then he's got like
I think
nearly.
it might just be Mike going slow he's just going slowly around to warm up his tyres and things.
Could he
Doesn't really
find
make
one?
sense, does it?
Yeah,
Going
could he
slow to warm
find
up.
1.2 seconds? Is the question. I think because I think the difference behind it is the difference in who uses what. So you can see. I mean, I don't know what Matty Smith uses, but I'm pretty sure everyone position 3 down to 7 all use controller. So the top 2 are wheel users. Of course, we know that Mark Bratby's just recently acquired himself a Fanatec. Which one did he get, Matt?
The CSL Elite with the F1 rim.
So
Ads.
So that's what, one of the better ones, or?
It's the standard one. Not the best, but he did get the upgraded pedals, the HubSport V3 pedals.
Let's be honest, if it's a Fanatec, it's good.
Yeah, the thing about it though is that a lot of people buy Fanatecs and it doesn't really give them any more tactical edge. The only thing I've ever found the disadvantage between what I've got, which is the Logitech G29, and those kind of Fanatec wheels, is that you have overheating issues, which tends to play games with your wheel. Last night in the Supercar, one of the supercar races that we had, Alex Little's T300 overheated so much it actually shut off during the race. So yeah, that's
Mike's on a strong lap. Mike is actually 1.2 seconds up.
Oh, no,
no,
he's gone. Oh, we put the
He was
mocker.
1.2 seconds up through the first 2 sectors. That had him on course for pole.
Oh, he'll be gutted with
gutted.
that one.
Yeah.
So
If he'd held it together. Well.
Still, that is still a best position for him at the moment. Yeah, understandably, the grid size isn't. I mean, actually, in saying that, the grid size is pretty much just half of what it normally is. So we only have a 14-car grid this season. We do have a few people that are kind of tossing and turning in between getting in and whatnot, like Isaac Murphy, Jaden Alton, who will return to F3 in the Williams, so he'll be going. One thing I've actually noticed a lot about this guy, and you can't really say much now because you've moved teams, but a lot of drivers from the beta test season that we had have gone back to their grassroots.
Yeah. I'm trying to think who else
Well, you've got Axel, who started in Renault. He's gone back to Renault despite being an F2. You've got Mackenzie, who started in McLaren. He's in McLaren.
Yeah.
Myself in Ferrari. I've gone back to Ferrari. And then you started in Toro Rosso, went to Red Bull, but now you're at Haas yourself. You never really moved. But a lot of drivers who participated in the inaugural league when it's first started have kind of gone back to their grassroots, and I don't know whether it was coincidence. I mean, for me personally, I'm just a diehard Ferrari person, but I don't know about the others.
Reverting to their favourites, I guess. They wanted a break and then they're going back to it. That'd be my guess, anyway. Just having a look at Jonathan's split. Jonathan's 2 tenths up on his last best as he comes through the middle sector. So he's held it together.
This is to be his last run.
Right.
Does he improve?
I think we're going to see a few victims of that turn 11-12. I think there's going to be a few victims on heavy fuel during the race.
I think Jordan, among the many, will probably be the one most cautious now about that situation. It's not a good thing to come out first and then be the first casualty, especially when you've got the broadcasters watching you.
Jonathan coming to the line. Looks like a strong time from Jonathan.
Oh wait, that was
24.5.
That was no improvement.
Just slightly slower. So
here comes Matty Smith. Can he improve on his lap? Yes, P2. 23.7.
Oh,
only a tenth
off. He was close, yeah. Under a tenth.
So yeah, the two drivers that look to be set to be near the back of the field have just jumped themselves up into P2 and P3. Mike now sits at his career best qualifying, so he's equalled his best. Jonathan has also sitting on his equal best. Jordan, for the while, 6 places is definitely an improvement from previous seasons. I think his best qualifying was a 4th at USA Season 1, to which he then got on the podium for. So that's your grid lineup at the moment. Of course, we do have a formation lap, and sorry F1 people, but we've had to bring Mr. Elliott over to F3 for his amazing grid lineup. But I'm sure...
I don't even get why everybody likes it so much.
I don't know, I think it's just because it's different to what... Because I think it's also...
isn't it?
I think it's also because of how well you're able to memorise the names and just throw them out there, like, you know, you don't even have to think about it.
Yeah.
Talent.
I don't know any of these blokes, though.
That's what it is. It's pure talent.
Yeah. Anyway, so qualifying for the first round of the season is done, and now we enter the first race. So 7 drivers, or actually, sorry, 8 drivers now that Nicholas Adams has come into the lobby. He won't be in his car, and that people probably have asked the question, why haven't we used the league function? We've been trying to do it, but the problem that is that you can't delay races by an hour. You have to delay them by 2, and our plan was to, because of daylight savings, we'll be moving forward now. We were trying to set it so that it would change the time by an hour, but it wouldn't let us do it. So rather than try and make 2 separate leagues and function it that way, actually makes me wonder what would have happened with that other one that was scheduled to start at 8 o'clock this morning.
That is a strange mechanic of theirs, though. I don't understand why you'd make it only 2 hours. You'd think you'd just allow people to choose how much you can delay it by.
Or at least allow them to change the time. But either which way, Matt, run us through the TK Media starting grid for Season 4 F3, Round 1.
Alright, for the inaugural 2019 F1 poll for the category of F3, we have Jaden Felter. In P2, we have Maddie Smith. P3, Mark Bradby. P4, Jonathan Carton. P5, Michael Poland. P6, Jordan Dittmer. P7, Bojan Ivanovic. And P8, Nicholas Adams.
Now, strangely, now, ignoring the fact that I just witnessed the 2 front runners come together on the formation lap. Now, if I remember correctly, Nicholas was meant to be in the Renault when he started. Now, surprisingly, he's managed to actually get in the Renault despite not being in the lobby. Now, is that a new feature that Codemasters has implemented that actually allows you to pick your car even if you're late to a session?
Doubt it. That'd be too smart.
That would be too smart, but this...
Possibly. Could just be luck.
The coincidences is just striking. The fact that you would have thought he would have been put in a team that was, you know, still got cars remaining. So I thought initially he was either going to be in a Ferrari or a Mercedes, maybe even goes as far as being in a Racing Point. But oh no, technically that's right, because technically Renault is still 4th in the performance tree.
I thought that, but surely there'd be a Ferrari 3 and a Mercedes that it could have logged in it.
What I think what it does is that
puts you in the first
team
the
first
that doesn't have a driver in.
Yeah, and coincidentally it was the team that he was actually registered for. So so don't worry about whether Nicholas Adams is in the wrong car. He's actually in the right car, so that's interesting. But yeah, so the front runners, the front row, having to wait for the rest of the field to come through. Their tyres are going to be super cold, so I would... Ooh, we got some weirdness here at the moment. Very big weirdness here. It's lights out. Oh no, we've still got that delay as usual. It's lights out, away we go for the inaugural F3 Season 4 Championship, and it's a good start there by Matty Smith actually. Jaden's first initial launch was pretty good, but he actually lost it in the line, and he'll hold it through. And Jonathan Carton's going to hold down P3, he gets ahead of his teammate. Jordan's had probably the worst start of the whole field. He's dropped all the way back down to the back of the field, but he's probably going to play... Oh, there's contact there.
Nice little train on the gravel.
Nicholas Adams just ran into the back of Mike there, I'm afraid. He actually lost some front wing off in turn 1 as well, Nicholas Adams, so I'm wondering whether that is why
And poor Mike's been
He
given a
did go into the
5-second
back,
time
but-
penalty for contact with a Bojan, which I don't even think that's probably the case. I would have thought that Nicholas would have got the penalty for that, but either which way, Matty
Yeah,
Smith
I think
leads.
maybe Mike got hit into him, but
Yeah, Matty Smith leads 1.1 seconds clear of Jaden heading into the fast S's. Let's see if everyone can get through here in one piece. Here comes Jordan. Jordan survives. Sorry, Jordan, but yeah. So everyone, Bojan. No, Bojan. Oh, Mike's almost got target lock on the Red Bull. But everyone's managed to get through relatively unscathed through the first lap. Few bit of contact here and there, but Matty Smith with a just under 1 second lead over Jaden Felter. Jonathan Carton P3 at the moment from Mark Bratby. Then it's Jordan Dittmer and Bojan's had a spin.
oh dear.
So it looks like his tyres might be just a little overcooked from that previous spin. We'll just keep an eye on him for a second as Mike's woes get worse. Another 5-second penalty. He's going to be absolutely fuming in that cockpit right now. And yeah, Bojan's still spinning, so Bojan's tyres are absolutely shot, so he's going to want to get on the pits and get off these tyres, or at least, I think he's got wing depth. No, he's staying out. Oh, no, you know what I think? I actually think he didn't quite.
I don't think he got the.
I think he tried.
no.
I think he thought about it,
he
and
did
then I think he thought about it, and then he thought he'll be all right. But now he'll just want to calm himself down. He's got front wing damage, so he should have really come in. But either which way,
the two Haas cars getting close.
yeah, well, Mark's going to have to want to be careful here. Jonathan's never been the easiest person to overtake, and we've seen that on previous accounts. So Mark's going to have to think about this calculatively, and Jonathan will have to actually think about this from the teammate perspective. The one golden rule, yes, the golden rule of motor racing is to always beat your teammate, but the other golden rule that's Gunther Steiner's been trying to have to absolutely chisel into his current drivers' heads is that you don't take your teammate out or make contact with your teammate. So for Mark, it's really... Ooh, Mark, he thought... Probably lost a bit of ground doing that, actually. Not going to subject himself to that. But he's going to have to play this smart, because Jonathan will, despite the fact that their teammates won't exactly give this up. And another yellow flag. Is that Bojan again? Yeah, Bojan's slowing, but it's not. Good drive from Jordan at the moment. Very composed and very calm at the moment, while at the same time Nicholas behind is absolutely throwing his Renault around the circuit. But that's also on the account that he's probably got all that wing damage, so he's probably just trying to mix manage it to his next stop. We'll just keep an eye on this battle though between Jonathan and Mark, because it's the only...
Mark's dropped back to it then.
Yeah, he's probably just playing it safe a little bit. Jaden's actually made a little bit of ground up on Matty Smith at the moment, so...
Mark had a moment, do the turn 12 there.
Yeah, it was up
you
to...
had a wobble, he saved it.
He dropped it down to like half a second all of a sudden, and then, yeah, I'd say he was probably just trying to... He's just trying to calm himself down. Bojan's in the pits now, so he's getting off those tyres, so another set of soft tyres it looks like, and he's already been dropped a lap down. No, set of mediums, so same with now Jordan actually surprisingly has actually come out started on the hards for this race, so I didn't pay attention to that because I didn't actually set the tyre thing just till now. But yeah, he's on the hards, so Jordan, that actually probably explains a little bit more as to why Nicholas is catching him despite the wing damage. So Jordan playing a very different strategy here and could pay off in the end stages of the race when he's on lower fuel on the soft tyre, so we'll keep an eye on that. Oh, Jonathan very ragged through turn 5, keeping Mark at bay. So I'm openly impressed by Jonathan's driving at the moment, that he's been able to stay honest with his own pace and keeping we got Mike with a spin down at the penultimate bend. Mike's attempting a few new different things this season, so I think still come to terms with no I think he said medium traction and manual gears.
Mark had another moment through turn 12 this time around. He's really struggling. I think might be something to do with the dirty air as well that he's getting off the back of his teammate.
He is staying within DRS. Well, every now and again he's within DRS range of his teammate, but then, yeah, as you say, the dirty air is probably playing a little bit on it. The gap at the front's moved out to 2 seconds. So, Matt, what are you making of this newcomer?
Quite a shock. We didn't really get to see him because he didn't participate in evaluations. So it's always interesting when you get a brand new driver that just comes in and starts getting ahead.
Well, Jaden just a
But
little...
it'll be interesting to see what happens throughout the season.
Yeah, Jaden was just a little bit wobbly through turn 3, just got on the gravel just a tiny bit. So the gaps are kind of starting to spread out. Mark again within the back, right on the back of his teammate. But yeah, oh, hang on. Oh no. Oh, Mark.
Mark's round.
Any particular damage? Yeah, a little bit. Bit of wing damage. Let's Bojan through, even though Bojan's a lap down. How much damage are we looking at? Oh, just a little bit of in-plate damage, but he is pretty close to the pit window anyway, so...
On the right-hand side.
The pit window for a 2-stop is pretty much open now, so drivers that want to... Oh, we got Bojan around as well again, so Bojan... Oh, don't be doing too many dangerous things like that, Bojan, but... Mark's still finding his feet. Just probably be glad to be back racing. That puts Jordan up to P4 at the moment, so... Actually, Jordan's not too far off from the back of Jonathan now, so I'm just wondering if... Hang on, we'll just have a quick look at the gaps as they come across the line. It's 4.19 at the moment. 4 seconds. Yeah, Jordan's gaining actually on Jonathan by a couple of tenths every lap, so Jordan could be very much on course for a first podium if he keeps this up, especially considering that they're on different tyres, so I would say he'll take the lead. He'll definitely take the lead upon Mark. I feel sorry for the bottom 3 at the moment. They haven't had the greatest. Well, I mean, Mark's start, don't get me wrong, was really good. It's just that one little mistake, and then it just billows, and you lose your confidence a little, and it's hard to kind of bring yourself back. But yeah, Jordan is definitely gaining on Jonathan quite rapidly. What's the ERS differences, I wonder? Jordan running hot lap. Jonathan's running 1. So Jonathan's conserving. But is this a consistent conserving, or is he just running it? Yeah, he's just consistently conserving, holding down 1, whereas Jordan is... I mean... Oh no, he is. Oh no, I was going to say Jordan isn't actually the type of person like I was last season, where you don't use ERS, where you just slap the ERS into hot lap and then just run the whole race on hot lap, and then you sit there wondering why you're so slow. But yeah, Jordan's every now and again he's just dropped it down to 0, so he's harvesting, but the gap is 2.2 seconds, so he's actually making some really good ground on Jonathan right now. And if he can keep this momentum up, he'll actually he'll be on course for a very decent result if he can just hold it together. Now, Mark came back out on another set of softs, so we should expect to see this fastest lap of the race tumble, maybe. I'll just use this time quickly to check our YouTube comments and see if there's any questions being asked or whatnot. Just bear with. Oops, I went to the F2. Actually, while I do that, I'll give you a quick rundown of the F2 at the moment. We've actually got safety car conditions at the moment in the F2 looking at it, and it's currently a Williams 1-2 with Brad leading Owen from Robin. The casualties are... Oh, Sebastian's out of the race.
Oh no, that is his home race.
As is defending F3 champion Fabio La Fiociol, so not a good uprise for the defending F3 champion, and it looks like the other one is Eduardo, so looking at that, that's very disappointing for Sebastian, so...
I guess no vamos Eduardo today.
There's always Vamos Eduardo.
Yeah, so just having another quick look while we're still
Oh,
got.
Matty's ran wide, and Jaden is now right up the back. He's been closing in. He was only 1.5 seconds. He's now half a second. So gonna have a bit of a fight for the lead here, coming into the pit window.
Do it.
Do it. Just do it.
So apparently,
Yeah, I'll
according
bring
to
around that
Sebastian,
knock.
he was shoved off at turn 1, so not very good for Sebastian. But yeah, as you say, the F3, and it looks like it's actually going to rain over on the F2 side too. So meanwhile, in a parallel universal, someone's gone off at sector 1, Bojan again,
Oh,
and then we.
Matty's got a bit sideways through turn 11, and Jaden's gonna go for a move.
Did
Got
that
too
go?
close to the back of him
Did
now.
that go for a second? Because I could have sworn. Oh my goodness!
No.
Around the outside.
Oh!
Around the outside.
Woo.
That's how
think
that's how
Matthew's
the
struggling on
Dutchies
his
do it, as
tyres.
they say. So, Jaden, who's obviously very dedicated to his
Oh, who's now ran it in deep himself?
Oh, but
Matty
Matty's
is coming
gone.
into the pits. I thought.
I,
I thought.
I really thought for a second there Matty was going to try and overtake him in the pits.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
Jonathan's in as well, so this is an interesting play. Oh yeah, Jordan's going to stay out obviously because of the differences.
Jonathan set the pit limiter at the very start of the exit of the last corner,
Oh,
so he's
don't
gone
get-
the whole length. He's almost doubled the length of the pit lane for
Oh,
himself.
don't get me wrong. I've done that every now and again, just out of the sake of knowing I'm going to hit the pit lane speed limiter correctly,
Oh,
rather than.
Nightmare.
So both
Oh,
drivers
he's
on the hards.
Oh, a bit of a slow stop there as well.
Must
But
have.
he's
Oh,
going now.
yeah, because he wouldn't have known about the pit lane. He must have not known about the pit lane release, so he probably doesn't use that. He probably uses that automatically, so would have been caught a bit unawares by that. Of course, remember that rule change wasn't implemented until season 2, so he didn't partake in season 2 or 3.
Yeah.
So Jordan 14 seconds behind.
Yeah, I was just in. He's not in a bad position on the hard tyre.
No, so if he can keep this momentum up and he doesn't lose his cool or concentration coming through these next few laps, just very ragged through the. It's the exit.
Hate
It
getting
is.
on that curb.
It is the exit curb, and I've always noticed that. And it's what I find the reason a lot of people spin out. It's not because of the traction. It's actually because of the angle of which you attack that corner. If you hit that corner or that exit curb, and you're still in pretty much turning, as Nicholas actually just went wide from that shot there. Not so sure why he's staying out so much. I know Jaden's obviously running a bit of a strategy to make his tyres on the mediums, or actually he might be going for a medium run, so he might be trying to push his tyres to get to the mediums.
That's what I thought. I think they might be going for a soft medium, which is
It's
optimistic,
dangerous.
but,
It's dangerous too, because
yeah.
we saw this last season, Abu Dhabi with Engine trying to do the one stop from the hypers to the ultras, and he didn't quite make it. He didn't actually quite make it. He actually ended up crashing pretty much the next lap after he was expected in. So
I think, especially with turn 11 and 12 as they are, on worn tyres that will be very worn.
but yeah, so just
It's a bold
watching.
move.
So I'm going to watch on board with Jaden at the moment. So what you should be straightening. You should have the car pretty straightened by the time you hit that corner. So he actually didn't even hit the apex. So that was good for him. So we'll just see with Jordan what's the difference. So as Jordan comes in, he's obviously not going through as quickly. He's obviously playing it safe. We'll look at Nicholas then. Nicholas has to play it kind of safe. But see, all their cars are going straight. If you come in there with still a little bit of turning angle, of course the car's not going to enjoy that, and then will throw itself out of kilter. Now, Matty has actually managed to catch back up to these two drivers on the hard tyres, so that's not too bad pace there on the hard. So Jaden probably needs to really decide on what he's doing, because at this rate the undercut has definitely played into Matty's favour quite valiantly. Jonathan with the slower stop, not so much. Mark's going to have to come back in. He's committed to a 2-stop by stopping on the softs again. And then, yeah, Bojan and Michael will have to pit again based on the fact that they've come in on lap 1 and 2 on a set of mediums. Just see what's going on. Sorry, just checking up on something there. So 14.4 seconds. So the gap between Jordan and Jaden stabilising. Now that's probably the differences between worn medium or worn hards and worn super. Oh, for God's sake! This is going to be our season, people. This is going to be our season. But he's in anyway.
Well, interestingly, Nick has just come out the pits and he's actually fitted the medium tyre. So I wonder if he's going to try and push these mediums 18 laps, which is a lot, but maybe it's doable.
Yeah, just...
Well, Jordan looks like he's struggling on those hard tyres now. Just seen him coming around his last few corners and running a bit wide and looking a little bit ragged. So Jaden's fit the mediums as well, so he's going to try and go to the end 17 laps. So, well, let's see if it works.
Don't know about that. I think the undercut was too powerful.
Yeah,
I'm not sure I'd do it myself, but it'd be interesting to see.
But at the same time, Matt's got the issue that he's got Jordan right in front of him. So, sector 2, Mike's gone. No, wait, what's going on here? Mike's car's still there. No, okay, Mike's actually retired the car. Oh no, that's Jonathan. What? Okay, maybe Jonathan. Okay, Michael has crashed somewhere actually.
Oh, there it is.
Where?
Turn 9.
Turn 9. Oh yeah, shit. Okay, that's... Well, I mean, you can, but it's not... Oh, man, see, Jordan's not going to give this up, because unlike normal circumstances, this is not a battle, this is a battle for position, so Jordan's not going to just wave his white flag and say, here you go, have the spot. Jordan's a fighter, and sometimes that's probably a little bit of Jordan's weakness, is that normal people pick and choose their battles, and Jordan just battles everyone. So in some cases Jordan should have probably let Matty go and then go through. But looking at the gap between him and Jonathan at the moment, actually, someone's gone off again. Yellow sector 1. No, just a glitch. Okay. Just looking at the gap between the leaders, Jordan has a 26.3 second gap to Jonathan. Now, if I think that correctly, I think a transit time between pit stop from pit entry to exit with a tyre stop is only 22 seconds.
Yeah, I had it at about 22, 23.
So Jordan could very well move into P3 with this pace at the moment, although Nicholas is also on the charge as well. He's 23 seconds back from... Yeah, no, Jordan
actually just overtaken Jonathan.
Yeah.
So if Jonathan and Nicholas are going to fight here, that's going to help Jordan out even more.
Yeah, so Jordan, who started from the back, could very well likely be... As Bojan in turn 3 seems to be getting along quite well, actually. I'm using that term sarcastically, of course, but... yeah, so the gap... And Jordan's actually gapped Matty enough, and he's gapped Matty enough that Jaden has actually gotten back onto the back of Matty's car, so this could be an interesting battle for the lead here. I
hope this turns into a phenomenal race.
It's going to be a nail biter, that's for sure. What I'm gonna do quickly now is just have a quick look at the F2 results again. Something's happened. Someone's been given I think a penalty or something, or was that another crash? I don't know. At the moment, okay, so Brad leads from a mural with, and oh, guess what, guys? Banana got Josh has just crashed. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
Not even our race.
No, it's not even our race. But so your top 5, your top 10 in the F2 at the moment is Bradley Betts from Amirul Azriaf, Jacob Todd, Oliver Coleman, Mark Trasandi, Diogo Cruz, Matt Coyer, Ken Doyle, Albert Ramirez, and defending champion Robin Kreft in P10. So looks like the F2 is going off the hook, and F3 is off the hook at the moment. You've got Red Bull, Ferrari and Williams, 3 notorious teams, all with valiant experiences and race wins, championship wins, constructors wins, and it's the first time seeing a Williams up the front in a long time, especially not just an actual Formula 1 logic, but actual TNF1 logic. Williams has not had the greatest baptism into the TNF1 series, and Matty still can't actually get past Jordan here, so...
Yeah, well, I've just noticed with Jordan, he's actually burnt up almost all his ERS, really trying to defend here, and Matty also has used up most of his attacking, whereas Jaden, sitting a bit more comfortably behind, he's just stored up for a load here. So
just be wary here, we could see a move here. Yep, here we go, so Matt's finally had enough. Jordan's not gonna... Oh, Jordan tried to go for the switchback there, didn't quite pull off, but he's not going to be able to... See, now Jordan, this is where Jordan needs to just back off, and he'll need to let Jaden through.
Yeah.
This, just scared to watch here. I'm going to close my eyes and hope that everyone goes through in one piece.
All very cautious. Very cautious through there.
Yeah, Jordan's not going to want to let... Jaden's not going to want to let Matthew get away here, so he is going to have to try and force the issue. Jordan's not going to let him get away, let him up on the position, because Jordan's fighting here, but he does need... Oh, he's gone wide. Oh, he's going to... Oh, he's letting him through. Good move. Good move there by Jordan, just to get off the break. He was in the... I wouldn't say he was in the wrong, but if there was an accident there, Jordan would have been in trouble for that one, because he was parked on the apex for the corner. Even though it was his corner, he was too slow in the way that he did drop the gap. So he might, at this point now, lose P3 based on fighting too much with the other drivers, but he will be on the softest of the compounds by race end, so we could see maybe a fight for the position 3, and definitely a position battle for the thing. So Mark Bradby now coming in for his second stop, so he'll be probably just fortunate he's still in the race. He's not a lap down yet, and he won't go a lap down for a while, not unless he makes more mistakes.
I think if I was Jordan, I'd be tempted to come in pretty soon and pit on some medium tyres rather than pushing it out and fitting softs at the end.
Yeah, I agree.
The longer he waits
oh,
now,
Jaden's gone! No! Jaden's in the fence!
Turn 12 got him.
So this change...
Just as he cleared Jordan as well.
This could be a big thing for Jordan here, because if he plays... Now, just wait and see what happens, because if a safety car comes out...
Yeah, that changes it now. I think you've got to almost hope for a safety car.
Well, probably not now, because he has just missed the pit entry, so... no safety car, no
I meant
virtual.
If someone else crashes, but...
Yeah.
Nothing for that. Interesting. I thought he might have got something there.
Then again, we didn't get anything from Mike's, and his was pretty... You could have almost said his was on the racing line. Almost,
yeah,
but...
True.
So Jordan...
It seems pretty random with this game, to be honest.
Yeah. So Jordan just needs to play himself smarter here and just... Now, get into a rhythm. He only needs to really get onto 2 more laps, and then he could jump onto a set of softs and go to the end, but... I'd agree with you. I would actually move to a set of mediums and just go from there. So, very interesting turn of events here. So, Jaden Falter, who we thought would have been a big shot at winning this race, or at least a shot of having a go at winning the race, now left on the sidelines. His teammate will have to try and pick up the pieces, and unfortunately Jaden hasn't met 90%, so he won't be classified. So heartbreak there for him, and I'm sure he would be absolutely fuming right now, depending on where he's at. Mark's had a pretty good recovery despite his spin. He's P5, Jonathan's going to be on to equal his best result of the season if he stays where he is. Oh, we got Sector 1 incident again if that Bojan
That's
turn
right.
3.
It was just it was Bojan going slow to let Mark through. But lapping.
So gap is 18.2 seconds.
I'm just trying to figure out how far behind. So when Jordan comes in, if he comes in soon, he'll be about 5 seconds behind, but he'll have, it's 6 lap fresher tyres. So he'll then have 10 laps to close that gap and then get past. So it'll make for an interesting end to the race. I think we could be in for.
So Jordan has played a very calculative game here. For the most part, I mean, if I was in Jordan's shoes and I had the 2 guys behind me, I would have given the position up and just followed them along. Probably not so much Jaden at that point, because at the end of it, following a driver that ends up in the fence is not usually the greatest idea. But Jaden leaves the session. We'll just see. I mean, he's composed himself very well. He's probably looked at his qualifying misdemeanor. He's probably thought, okay, I know what I've done wrong here. I don't want to do that again in the race, especially. I want to just go through there cautiously. Everyone's going to go in there gung-ho because they're going to be racing for position, and they're going to end up in the fence. And we've already seen that once in the race. Well, we've seen it several times, but Jaden's has been by far the worst in the way that it's taken him out of the race. We saw it with Michael and Bojan. Bojan survived. Mark survived. Although Mark didn't do it there, did he? He did it at 5. Just have a look at the rest of the field. So, yeah. There will be a diminishing return for Nicholas at the moment, because he has done 8 laps on his mediums, so evidently that will kind of swing the spectrum around, and Jordan should be in relatively shortly, so that should probably put a perspective in that. Jonathan, P4 at the moment on hard tyres. Mark, 33 seconds behind his teammate on fresh mediums, and then Bojan a lap down on the field on 14 lap old medium. So I wonder if Bojan's going to just try and stick it out and just finish the race on these mediums. Not the greatest idea, but we've seen sillier things. Apparently F2's had another safety car, so just have a quick look on the old YouTube function. So yeah, the attrition rate in the F2 is quite astonishing. They've lost Banana Josh, they've lost Owen, Sebastian, Eduardo, Fabio, and Axel apparently got disqualified in the race. So the top five is Bradley Betts, Murawaz Riaf, Nicholas Jacob Todd, Oliver Coleman, and Matt Coyer. So pretty interesting things going on there, but going on over here, Jordan's still staying out. What's his end game here? Is he trying to... In fact, the gap has dropped significantly down to 13 seconds. Has he had a mistake somewhere?
Yeah, he's only running 2 modes on his ERS, 0 or 5.
That's probably not the smart.
If he learned to manage it a little better, he could probably keep or extend the gap.
Yeah, so he is definitely going to come out now behind Nicholas by quite a margin, and I don't know if that's going to be a margin that he's going to be able to get back. And he does have to make a stop. Very slidey out of 11 there. And sorry if we are just following Jordan at the moment here. We don't really have any battles at the moment, so we're just following Jordan and just making some analysis based on him. So what we'll do is actually we'll have a look at we'll go back into the archives of Jordan Dittmer at the moment. So he debuted at the Australian Grand Prix season 1 after the beta test had concluded, and has had a best result of 3rd place 2 times, which were at the Russian Grand Prix round 4 and the American Grand Prix, whenever that was. I can't remember when it was, back in 2017. Season 2 didn't get off to the greatest of foots with him. Of course, having me as a teammate was a bit overshadowed. I think a best result of 8. Well, let's be honest, it was true. I'm not tooting horns here, I'm just saying it was true. Best result of 8.
Oh dear.
And of course a few pit lane glitches that cost both of us quite a few good results in the past as well. Season 3, best result of P7, and of course he had the infamous accident with me back at Silverstone. But looking strong at the moment for a career best finish of P2. At the moment, of course, he does expect it to come in.
His pace has really dropped off these past few laps. I think those tyres have given up, and
I just
that
don't know.
gap has gone from 18 seconds down to 10 seconds now. So he's going to come out actually more like 13 seconds behind. So that's going to be quite a big gap to pull in 8 laps or so. So.
I mean, even
think
if he doesn't, he's on course for a podium at this point.
Yeah. Well, I think the one thing that we'll keep I think Nicholas's tyres towards the end of the race are going to really drop off because he's going to push those mediums a long way.
And why? But
Jordan's
Jordan.
staying out.
But the more that Jordan pulls this out, there is that theory, but I don't know if that's going to work, Jordan.
Turn up your ERS. At least put it on 2.
Yeah, he's got it on 100 and he's not running any. So I don't really know what he's going for here, but he's
been like that for 2 laps.
Well, no, what I'm thinking is he's going to try and push these tyres right through to lap 28 and then pit on the last lap. That's
where's the point?
Well,
you're just missing any advantage of pitting at all.
Well, he could be banking on Nicholas making a mistake. I mean,
don't forget you get a point for the fastest lap in this season, so.
Yeah, exactly, and that's currently who currently has
point,
that?
You'd get 3 points just for finishing second instead of third.
Mark
has it?
Yeah, Mark currently has it on a 26.5, so Mark's bad day will be at least a little remedied by having the fastest lap of the race.
There's going to be a few drivers here who might have a gap to be able to pit and go for that fastest lap at the end.
And the thing about it too is that
of course brings a risk with it.
Well, there's only 6 drivers on the track now, so it's not like the fastest lap's going to get lost. So another lap down for our race leader Matthew Smith, 18 seconds ahead of Jordan. The gap between Jordan and Nicholas is now 6 seconds, but now here we go, Jordan finally
in. Yeah.
You know, you want to
Matt could actually put on some softs to go for the fastest lap and still probably have the lead.
Yeah, I think he doesn't have any problems there.
Yeah.
Now, the problem about this, I fear, is that Jordan's going to push too hard, too quickly, and he's going to make a mistake, so he needs to be careful.
Yeah,
now, actually, I'm just thinking here, this could be a problem for Jordan versus Jonathan. Jordan's going to get out just in front. Surprisingly, I don't think any driver at the moment has any, check the race director, Matt, and see if any drivers...
There were a few penalties.
But not for the main lot. I know Mike had a couple.
Mark might have one, yeah.
Yeah, Mark has one, I remember. But I don't think anyone in the top 4 have penalties at the moment. So that's pretty clean. That's a
There's
pretty
only
clean.
2 warnings between the top 4.
That's very impressive at this circuit.
Yeah, and especially with strict corner cutting too. So these guys have definitely been able to drive fast and drive consistently. Although just looking at their actual race, just looking at their overall race pace, it's not actually overly that quick. 26s and 28s.
Jordan still hasn't turned his ERS up.
Time to do it.
I don't know what he's waiting for.
Well, maybe he's just
forgotten.
Well, no, maybe he's just thinking he's so close to the end of the race, don't want to bottle it and ruin what has been a podium finish. I mean, at the moment now, he's one more lap and he'll have completed 90%, which means he'll be classified. So any mistake he makes now will be still classified as a result, and that would be at worst P6. Well, actually, could be. Depends on the gap.
There he goes.
He's already catching by. Well, he's caught half a second at least on that lap, so... Yeah,
Jonathan.
Turned it up, so...
Did Jonathan just make a mistake there or something? He just lost
No, I thought Jordan was going to.
Well, we'll just see what Jordan can do here.
5 laps. He needs about 2 seconds a lap, and then to get past as well. So it's going to be interesting. Because he's already taken half a second out of him just in that first sector. So he is really gaining.
And so now
I think he might catch him. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah,
I don't think he will. His ERS management will inhibit him.
And let's try not to put the mocker on him either. I mean, we don't want to put a mocker on him and make him have a mistake. He could be listening to us as we speak, and he might be now feeling a little under pressure. So we'll just see how he approaches. He's definitely staying off the curb at 12, which is a definite good way to stay off. Could be on for the fastest lap here, actually. His sector splits are looking quite good. Flash, actually.
Probably should on these tyres.
Oh, and saying that,
Matty's going to go for it.
Mark did his on the super soft, so... Or the softs, I should say. But, here we go. Jordan's going to cross the line. We'll just check his ERSs. He's derating on the line, but he still does it. 25.9. That's a good lap, actually. That's actually that would probably be close to the fastest around the F2 sort of faction in the race pace sort of schedule. So not too bad there, but he now just needs to.
So he gained the 2 seconds on that lap. So...
Yeah, I was just saying. You said he needed 2 seconds, and he's just done 2 seconds on that one lap alone. 7.4 watts.
He's got to turn that ERS down a little bit, though. I'd say just.
Yeah, he doesn't want to be
running out of it completely.
Mark's in the pit, so I think Mark's now decides.
Yeah, Mark's gonna go for it.
One thing that we can all say here, the three of us can say, is that Mark and Jordan have a big rivalry. So Mark's not going to let Jordan have the fastest lap and a podium. We're just having a look. Yeah, Jordan's used up all his ERS already, so he's... What's Nicholas's ERS like? Oh, sector 3. Ooh. Oh, that's Bojan in the fence again at the penultimate. Oh, don't... Careful where you're rejoining Bojan, especially with Jordan coming around.
Oh no.
The last thing Jordan would want is a bit of karma in the way of a lap car getting in the way of his result. He'd probably come back...
safety car might have been interesting.
Oh, safety car. Yeah, safety car would have benefited Jordan massively, but it's way too late. Oh, there we go.
Oh,
so Jordan...
that is probably that.
Yeah, but, I mean, he started P7.
Well, yeah.
And he's clawed his way up to P3.
You never know. Nicholas's tyres are going to drop off, although he's got such a gap now, he can be pretty careful with them. So.
Yeah, we don't know what turn 11 and 12 brings. He can easily just make one little tiny blue and that's it. So by no means are we by no means are we biased, ladies and gentlemen. We're not saying that we want them to crash so Jordan can win, but we just, you know, we've been watching Jordan for 4 seasons now, and this has been... Would you guys agree in saying this has been the best drive of his career?
Yeah.
I mean, I can't remember all of them, but of the ones I remember, yes.
It's just been...
From what I can think. He's cut out the mistakes that we have seen in the past, I'd say.
And one thing that we'll also put paid to mention is that we will not be censoring anything that happens in the post-race interview, so be prepared. That's all we'll say, be prepared. But yeah, let's look at... I mean, it's been a good race overall. It's been... Yeah, the attendance rate hasn't been too flash, but of course F3 doesn't have the biggest field at the moment, so a lot of people on vacation too, so we should expect to see them back by Bahrain, which is next weekend. Definitely good drive from Jonathan Carton as well on his return. He's been super consistent, just looking after himself, and he's gonna he got out qualified by his teammate, but today he's gonna outperform his teammate on the race. And Mark, despite everything, despite the spin at the start and the 5-second time penalty for what he's done a good... I think it's a good comeback drive for Mark. He's done a good job, and especially given the time of the morning it is for him at the moment. So tip your hat off for him. But we really encourage people in the comments, in the live comments or the comments below, to vote for your driver of the day, as Mark now does the fastest lap of the race. Only marginally though, not by a heck of a lot. Let's have a look at the.
Bojan just pitted as well, so he's just put on some new softs to go for it on the
a
last
tenth of a
lap.
second is the difference. So yeah, the gap at the front, well, the gap at second, between second and third, stabilised now. It's now just hovering at 5 seconds. So Jordan, despite saving up all his ERS now, hasn't been able to make a dent in that armour. But I think, despite everything, so yeah, vote for your driver of the day. We, the commentators, will personally have ours in as. Maddie completes the final, will start the final lap, so that's not too far away. So, for me, definitely, I think Jordan is definite driver of the day for today.
Jordan is really gaining again now. He's dropped 2 seconds in the first half of this lap. So, or gained 2 seconds, not dropped them.
Definitely, definitely, if he worked on his ERS, he would have been a lot more contentious.
Yeah.
Going through 12, he was completely airborne. Matt, if you didn't hear that, Matt was just holding his breath. You could definitely tell he was holding his breath through that.
Yeah.
Of course, there is a risk of a puncture. He's pushed these mediums a long way, Nicholas, so you never know.
Yeah, 17 laps, so that's more than your average. So that would have meant he would have come in
I'm
on
sure
about.
That's more than Pirelli recommend, anyway.
Yeah, so, I mean, anything's a possibility. Sparks fly as he comes through. Matty Smith's just coming through the second sector to start the third sector now. The gap 3 seconds between Jordan and Nicholas. So what do you think? Do you think if
there is the time penalty as well to remember?
Yeah, so if Jordan had come in a lot earlier, definitely would have been more in for a shout for this.
Yeah.
Than what
he just needed some more time. Yeah, I think
and probably didn't need to battle the front runners when he did. So a few little mistakes here and there, but he's could still. I mean, it's 1.7 seconds. Anything's a possibility here. But either which way, Matty Smith will round the last turn, and he will take on debut his first F3 championship win and wins the Australian Grand Prix. So well done there, Matty Smith. Well done on the debut. And Nicholas will be looking back there and seeing this red car coming at him going, well, you needed another lap, pal, and you needed 3 seconds. But I think either which way, great job here from these two drivers. Nicholas probably in a little bit of trouble for that contact with Michael Pollan. That's probably going to be under investigation for sure. But either which way, Nicholas Adams will take P2, and Jordan Dittmer, our voted driver of the day, from the commentator's perspective, will take a podium. So well done for Jordan Dittmer, his third podium of his career. We will now take this time to grab our 3 drivers and have a chat with them. So bear with us for just a second while I there we go. And Jonathan Carton equals his best finish of the season, P4. Mark Bratby, a career best actually of P5. I actually think that's the biggest finish for Mark in his career, and then Bojan will make up the rear of the field a couple of laps down. So we've got Nicholas Adams here, who's finished second in today's race. We'll grab a word with him while the other two come in. So Nicholas, P2, bit of a rough start with contact with you and Michael. Just talk us through that as well as your race, but it's still a P2. It's not too bad of a result.
Well, what happened in the beginning was he was really laggy on my perspective, and so he was just lagging all over the place. And of course, I kind of misjudged my braking points, and I think with net coding, I probably hit him by accident, but it just looked like he just missed his braking point. But oh yeah, I was in the edge of the seat, time I had both my left tires were over 50% left, so I was just nursing them on the way, and I was very happy to hold up second position.
Yeah, it must have been pretty scary having that red car screaming at you on that last lap.
Yeah, it was really challenging. I did have that heavy front wing damage when I had the soft compounds, and I just saw how I was really comfortable with the mediums, and I was just like, I could stop one more time. I probably could be P3, but I was like, you know what? Everyone's so far behind. I'm just gonna go all the way till punk.
Well, either which way, it's been a great result for you, Nicholas, and we'll see you again in Bahrain. It doesn't look like Matty or Jordan want to chat. I know Jordan probably wouldn't want to chat more than anything, despite his P3. So, Guy, Matt, you got anything you want to add before we close up?
No, I don't think so.
No. Just hopefully for Bahrain we have a little better attendance.
Well, so either which way, it's been a great result for a lot of drivers. I think, Nicholas, that's a career best finish for you as well, actually, with P2.
Yeah, that's actually my first career podium, to be honest.
So that's a good result for you. Matthew Smith winning on debut for F3, and Jordan Dittmer with his third podium of his career in the F3. So without further ado, we'll wrap it up here. We've got roughly 50 minutes until the F1 gets underway, where me, Matt and Guy will hit the track in anger. Stay tuned for that. Next weekend we've got the Bahrain Grand Prix, as well as round 2 of the Transnation Supercar Championship at the Autodromo de Algarve circuit in Portugal. Also, don't forget to tune in after F1 to the Transnation Gaming channel to watch us all just fluff around on GTA 5. So that's our weekend rotation for this time. So without further ado, Brett Keenan, Guy Tasker and Matthew Elliott signing out from Australia, and we'll see you again in the blistering deserts of Bahrain.